All right. All right. All right. Happy Monday. How y'all feeling out there? Indeed. So welcome to another edition of the Mother's Justice Show. My name is Chukundi Salisbury, and if you're an avid listener, you've known that we've been filling in the Mother's Justice Show on Monday, on the last Monday of the month for a couple of months now, and we're bringing the community up to date. We're using this platform for our work with the Services of Lifestyle and the Black Legacy Homeowners Network, right? And more information around that can be found at blacklegacyhomeowners.org. So, yeah, super excited today to just kind of give some updates. We've been working this entire year, getting things together, and it's been really good. And so, in fact, in fact, let me rewind it. Again, first of all, thank you to Reverend Walden and the folks over at Mothers for Police Accountability for lending us this platform on a monthly basis to do these updates. Secondarily, if you're unaware of the Black Legacy Homeowners Network and the work that we're doing, again, you can shoot on over to Black Legacy Homeowners .org, and there is where we really talk about our project. But for those that are just listening and not on the internet, Black Legacy Homeowners is a project here of Services of the Lifestyle, and the work we're doing, in a word, is Black homeowner stabilization. We are working in the community, primarily in Seattle, but Seattle and beyond, to stabilize our Black homeowners. And so we know from House Bill 1891 and other many articles, Seattle Times and everything else, that Black homeowners have been targeted over the years in a way to remove them from the central area in Seattle, period. And so our work is funded through the City of Seattle and the Office of Housing, and we're specifically looking to stabilize our Black homeowners, and specifically our Black legacy homeowners. So what does that mean? What that means is that we're doing a variety of things, including building out a database of Black homeowners here in the city. So if you are a Black homeowner or your neighbor's a Black homeowner, we would love to talk to them. And then once we have them in our network, we are providing resources, information, and education to help stabilize them and ensure a modicum of generational wealth. And so how we do that is we have two events a month. We have an educational event that we do once a month at the which is where we bring out guest speakers and we talk to the community and educate. Those guest speakers talk to us about what's going on in the community. And then we do a fun event, a community building event, where it's called the Black Homeowner Happy Hour. And we do that once a month as well. And those are less scripted, if you will, no guest speakers, but just really an opportunity for Black homeowners to come together in a space to be able to network, share notes, and collaborate and build community. So, and when we do these events, we realize that all Black homeowners are not a monolith, right? So we have some Black homeowners that are legacy Black homeowners, and they're really interested in staying in their homes and keeping things the same. We have other Black homeowners that are excited about making improvements. Maybe they want to put an ADU or a cottage on their property. And then we have other Black homeowners that are oftentimes under duress for whatever reason. And maybe they need to be connected with resources, such as foreclosure assistance or construction assistance. We have a program where we're helping seniors make repairs to their homes, right? So just lots of information. So no matter where you're at on the spectrum, if you will, of Black home ownership here in Seattle and beyond, we're trying to make sure that you have the information and the tools to be able to do what's best for you and your family. And that includes folks that may want to sell their home, right? Like, oftentimes, we have a lot of Black homeowners that have, raised their kids. Maybe they worked at Boeing for years and now they want to retire and move back to Mississippi or what have you. And we just want to make sure that they have get the best value for their home, right? What we don't want to have happen is as Black homeowners being looked at and looking to sell their home to some sign that says Freddie buys homes, right? That's not what we want to do. We want to make sure that our community and our Black homeowners are informed and educated, and they have all the right information at their fingertips as they move forward in whatever they want to do. And so some of the events that we've had so far with the Black Legacy homeowners, we've had real estate agents come out and talk about property. We've had the King County Assessor, John Wilson, come out and explain property tax and some of the things that he's working on to try to make sure that the community knows about things like the senior tax exemption. We've had Black homeowners that come out and talk about the work that they've done on their homes, right? Oftentimes, there's many Black people that see the construction and the development, right, in our neighborhoods. Miss Johnson's house is torn down, and next thing you know, they got 6 houses over there, right? Or somebody moves into Miss Jenkins' house, and after she passed, and next thing you know, they got 2 cottages in the back and 4 more cars on the street. And you just wonder, like, what does that mean? Well, we can do the same things with our property too. And so we've had people come in and talk about, how to make additions to your home, how to add an ADU or a DADU. And we've had folks come in and talk about how to split your property and build a whole nother house, right? So those are the kind of things we have. Last month, we had an attorney come out and talk about, the difference between a will and a trust. One of the things I learned at that activity was the fact that a will is public information and a trust is private, right? And so, again, this is the kind of work that we're doing with our community. And, we're going to have a guest speaker on in a little bit after the first break. But, one of the things that became clear to me when we started doing this work is that oftentimes we most certainly have the narrative of the classic gentrification, right? We all know about the predatory lenders that come into our community and try to get our elders to sign documents that may not be right for them. We know about the people that prey on despair. They're looking at the foreclosure list, and instead of trying to connect folks with programs to help them pay their mortgage, they try to give them pennies on the dollar to get them out of foreclosure and really taking their home, right? So we know about all of these things, why oftentimes Black people have lost their homes, and we've seen the erasure of our community in the Central area and beyond. But the fact of the matter is that most Black homes and most Black wealth has been lost because we don't have the instruments in place when it's time for us to go, right? Or we think that we have them in place and we don't, right? And so we had an attorney come out and really talk about, the difference between a will and a trust and an irrevocable trust versus a living trust, and just really having all your documents and, your power of attorney, your durable power of attorney, and all of those documents in place, because oftentimes, whether it's somebody from outside your family or a family member themselves or just kids that can't get along, what happens is the matriarch, Big Mama, passes away, and next thing you know, everybody's fighting over the house, right? Or, maybe the house is paid off and there was a reverse mortgage that nobody knew about. But regardless, what I found in the work that we've been doing here is that many of our legacy properties in the Central area and beyond was really sold by us, right? And so while we want to make sure that we are fighting displacement with the Black Legacy Homeowner Network by making sure that people have the short-term resources, if you will, making sure keeping them out of foreclosure and all those types of things. We really want to make sure that people have the tools and the toolkit to ensure generational wealth, right? And then a lot of times that means having a trust in place, having a your will, and just so your intentions will be known by your family, right? And so, to that end, we're having a great event on November 19th, right? So if you're tuning in right now and you say, hey, this sounds amazing, I want to connect with the Black Legacy homeowners, we're having an event on November 19th at the Royal Esquire Club. And at that event, we'll be talking about how to talk to your family over the holidays about the property, right? And so, we as African Americans and Black folks, we've always been taught not to ask Big Mama about her business, right? But we have to change some of that if we are in fact going to be able to have true generational wealth. We need to know where the deed is at, right? We need to know what the account numbers are and all of those types of things. So super excited about the show today. That's what we do here at the Black Legacy Homeowner Network. And when we come back from this break here at 2:15, we're at the quarter hour. I've got a very special guest here on the line, a person who has been fighting tirelessly for Black people and homeowners in general in the Central area and beyond, and really just calling us to a higher path. And her name is Miss Ruby Holland. And we'll be talking with her right when we come back. All right, you're listening to the Mother's Justice Show, Black Legacy Homeowner Edition, and we'll be right back. Thank you.
The King County Sheriff's Office is proud to support the Mother's Justice Show. We're an equal opportunity employer that recruits, hires, and trains qualified and diverse police officers to practice constitutional policing throughout King County. With a starting salary of $62,000 a year, scheduled pay increases along the way, generous health, dental, and vision insurance, and a take-home car upon successful completion of field training. This can be an attractive and rewarding career. So join us and be a person that serves their community and helps to bring about positive change. For more information on becoming a member of King County Sheriff's Office, go to our website, kingcounty.gov/DEPTS/sheriff. That's kingcounty.gov/departments/sheriff. Or get more information by calling 206-263-KCSO. That's 206-263-KCSO.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
Exploring new territory every day. This is Alternative Talk 1150.
Hey, all right. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Chukundi Salisbury, and I'm filling in for Reverend Walden today on the Mother's Justice Show. And this is actually the Black Legacy Homeowner edition. We do this once a month throughout through the remainder of the year, where we just kind of bring community up to speed on what we're doing and our work around Black homeowner stabilization. So shout out to Reverend Walden for, again, letting us use this platform during this time and this critical work. So without further ado, though, I've got a real special guest here with me today, a person who's been working tirelessly on this work, and it's just super excited. I saw her in person the other day, and Miss Ruby Holland. Hey, Miss Holland, how you doing?
Hi, Chukundi. Thank you so much for the work you're doing. It is so important. I appreciate it.
Indeed. So I know you're a Central District and Seattleite. You've been here for years. It was good to finally come over and come to the house. I came to the house, I think, a couple days in a row. So I brought you your T-shirt and your sign. So, obviously you've been doing this work for a long time, but how did you feel about that? Got you signed up?
Finally, I can exhale because for so long, gentrification forces were upon us really heavy. And now, we have people helping us and we have homeowner groups. Homeowners could learn about all the stuff that you talked about. There's just so much in terms of that we need to know about keeping our homes. We can't just sit around and let things take care of themselves like they did before. So, we have to be proactive. And when I see all these people that come to your meetings, soaking up knowledge, it just makes me so happy because knowledge is power. And they can't take nothing from us if we got the knowledge and the power. We know how to keep it going.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Speaking of that, I know it's got to be exciting to you. I saw it on your face when I was actually at your house dropping off your T-shirt the other day, and I know that you've been working on this for a long time. And like you said, and so to see people learning and being a part of it and really being proactive. Can you speak a little bit about that? Because I know that your block used to be all Black people, but now it's 3 Black people, 3 Black-owned properties on that, and that's a pretty long block.
It was all Black. I moved to Atlanta in '84, came back to Seattle. I lived there for 30 years, came back to Seattle in 2016, found out that my house was going to be displaced because of upzoning. So, I was like, oh no, I ain't leaving. My mama worked too hard. And I went to a HALA meeting, a HALA open house, and I seen these other couples, petrified white couples. One was an older white couple, one was a younger white couple that was in the process of remodeling, and they was petrified of losing their home. And I said, you know what? Even though I was petrified myself, I said, I just can't leave these people like this. So I gave a workshop, and everybody felt a little bit better because I talked about how with upzoning, there's also opportunity. We could have our whole families living on our property now, and we could, do things. We could offer yard space to rent for people. They're talking about taking their cars away if we need extra income to pay our taxes. There's a lot of things we could do with our home. So it's not as scary as I thought it was, but it is very, very scary. In 2021, we started seeing some burdens that they had placed on Central area and Rainier Beach homeowners because of upzoning. So,
right.
I've been fighting that since 2019. That's when the upzoning law got passed. And so here we are in 2023. And to finally be able to see homeowners come out of hiding. And I told I was always saying, look, they're writing us off. They're writing us out of Seattle. We got to write ourselves back in by taking pictures and spreading them around. But, nobody did it. But now it's happening with you. You're making it happen. And it's just,
well,
whew.
Yes, ma'am. And that's why I was super excited to put your sign up so high. So you have a home, right? Just kind of for the listeners out there, you have a home with a nice fence, a wood fence, right? And the way that the fence is, it would be hard to see the sign in the yard. So what we did was we took your sign and we put it up high over by the porch. So people that are driving by, walking by, they can see that, in fact, this is a Black legacy home and a Black legacy homeowner lives here. And more importantly, the sign means, what's funny though, Ms. Ruby, is that the sign is meaning a lot of different things to a lot of different people.
Me the respect that I'm due. Don't come up here talking about
Boom.
selling your home. I want to buy your home. And, real estate people always do this. And they send me pictures of my home.
Right.
They wanting to buy it. Well, now they're going to send me a picture of a Black Legacy homeowner.
You know what's so funny about that, Miss Ruby, is so what happened to me the other day, and I'm sure it happens to you and many of our members in our network, and in fact, just even more, just everybody, in fact, just not just Black people, but what happened to me the other day is a guy called me like they probably call you, and he said, hey, do you have any plans on selling the house? And, he said my address, and I said, well, what makes you think that? Because what I always try to do is keep him on the phone. So I said, well, what makes you think that? And he said, well, it's a nice house, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, have you seen it? And he said, well, yeah, I just drove by the other day. I said, oh, you drove by my house? And he said, yeah, I drove by your house. I said, well, if that's the case, you must have seen my Black Legacy homeowner sign in the yard. And so he said, oh, yeah, I did see that sign. And I've been seeing those signs in the neighborhood. What's that all about? And I said, well, let me clue you in on something. Let me clue you in on something. I said, well, listen, that sign, in fact, means that an educated Black homeowner lives here. Okay. And so what that means is I'm either, I most certainly know my value. I most certainly know my worth. And chances are I'm probably never going to sell this house, right? Because I'm interested in generational wealth. And if I did end up selling my house, trust me, I'm going to get a real appraisal and I'm going to get the best and the highest amount possible. I'm not just going to sell my house to Joe Blow calling me on the phone, right? And he was like, oh, that's what the sign means? I say, yeah. So let me clue you in on something. I'm going to do you a favor. So when you see these signs, that's probably it should be on the end of your list, right? Because we are least likely, you're going to be least likely to find success with people with these signs. Right. Okay, we're not going to get bopped. We're not going to get taken advantage of, right? Just because you're calling us. Now, I understand you're a real estate person, you're a prospector.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah, do what you got to do. But if you want to be the most efficient about what you're doing, you might want to call the people that don't have a sign. Because if you got one of these signs, we know our worth and we're not going anywhere. We shall not be moved.
You are going to be talking to an informed Black homeowner. So come up in there with your A game, and not all this riffraff that you've been talking about is not gonna work. And that is really the beauty of it. Such a wonderful feeling. I just can't tell you how good of a feeling it is for me. Somebody who, just this past February, we was looking at lots that Black people gave up under the thinking that they was going to have affordable housing, and they were told in the CD that they had to give up their lots for affordable housing, and they left. And to see $1 million homes placed in these lots, it was just painful. And that was just February. And, we're scared that, how many more homes is it going to be? And I'm trying to keep everybody with the faith because I just knew that we was going to somehow get out of it. And thank God the breakthrough came with you guys. And, Governor Inslee helped out a lot. And it's just a blessing now. And everybody's happy. Everybody wants to be a part of this process. If they're a homeowner or they know somebody that's a homeowner, it's just something else.
Well, we just want people to not get taken advantage of, right? And that's really and this is what I have to remind people. I'm not hating on any of these people that do real estate, but when you watch some of these shows, right, where they talk about, and when they talk, and I was one of the people too, until I really got into this work, right? Because I watched the Home Improvement Network and all of that. And they oftentimes are talking about what a great deal they got on this property because they about to flip it. Oftentimes, that great deal that flipper or prospector got because they was calling around, that great deal was built on the sorrow of somebody else, right? It was a short sale where somebody couldn't, pay the bill. They was behind on the mortgage. Their husband had passed or what have you. Now, every now and then, it is some people that just got a lot of stuff and they trying to clear up some stuff and they willing to just part with a property. But that is rare. Most of these things are built on the sorrow of somebody else, right? But and so, it's important to let people know, and that's really what those signs is all about. So whether it's something to let people know you're gonna respect me, like Miss Victoria Beach with her, she the only Black person left on her block. And so she got her sign high up on her porch too, letting it be known. Now we got other Black people that say, well, you know what, I don't necessarily need a sign, and that's okay too. But the sign is a sign of pride. It's a sign that you're part of our network, and it's something that we're doing. And so we're gonna talk a little bit more about the sign.
When you said there's people with different situations, we have a lot of seniors that own homes. Their particular problem is they need to get out of those stairs because those stairs, they can't make them stairs at a certain point. Yeah. But at this point in Seattle, it's very difficult to sell your house and get another one like we did back in the day.
Yeah. And you know what? Hold that thought, Miss Ruby. We're going to be right back, and we're going to talk about that after the break. Like, how do you improve the house to where you can stay, or at least try to find something if you do got to go. But we'll be right back after the break here on the Mother's Justice Show, the Black Legacy Homeowner Edition. Today with Chukundi Salisbury and our guest, Miss Ruby Holland.
The King County Sheriff's Office is proud to support the Mother's Justice Show. We're an equal opportunity employer that recruits, hires, and trains qualified and diverse police officers to practice constitutional policing throughout King County. With a starting salary of $62,000 a year, scheduled pay increases along the way, generous health, dental, and vision insurance, and a take-home car upon successful completion of field training. This can be an attractive and rewarding career. So join us and be a person that serves their community and helps to bring about positive change. For more information on becoming a member of King County Sheriff's Office, go to our website, kingcounty.gov/DEPTS/sheriff. That's kingcounty.gov/departments/sheriff. Or get more information by calling 206-263-KCSO. That's 206-263-KCSO.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
Talk radio with a purpose. Alternative Talk 1150.
All right. Hey, welcome back to the Mother's Justice Show here. My name is Chukundi Salisbury, and today is the Black Legacy Homeowner Edition that we do once a month. Thank you to Reverend Walden for lending the platform so we can talk about this amazing work in the community. And today I am joined with a housing superhero, if you will, Miss Ruby Holland, who's been doing a lot of work here in the Central area and beyond to engage and empower and educate all homeowners, but specifically making sure that Black people know what to do around their property. So, hey, welcome back, Miss Ruby.
Thank you.
Okay, before the break, we were talking a little bit about seniors and seniors and their property and the stairs and of course senior exemptions. Let's pick up right there.
I can't tell you how many seniors that I graduated with from Garfield that had these big homes and sold their homes. They had big homes and they sold the homes, and now they're couch surfing because they didn't get, if you sell a home in the CD and can't afford to buy a home in the CD, you're selling your home for too little. And it's really hard to get another home these days because you have to outbid investors who have billions to work with. You have to outbid tech workers. You have to outbid developers. So, that little money that you have is just not going to go that far. And, it's the market rate housing is going to eat your money up really quick. You won't be able to qualify for low income housing because you got that big windfall that's going to count against you. So you're much better off. I know those stairs are a burden. You're much better off trying to go ahead and remodel to age in place. If you could, you rent those rooms, those upstairs rooms, even to a tech worker, you get enough money to take care of your rent. Or your mortgage, and your taxes. So, we got to think of ways that we could survive in our homes and still keep it. If you do just have to have another home, try to get your real estate person that you close on your home to let you close on the home that you buy on the same day, so you won't have to outbid nobody. I've been told that they don't like to do that, but I did it in Atlanta, and my real estate agent was very happy because she was getting.
Okay, looks like you froze up a little bit right there. Eric, are you still hearing me, or is that my computer? Okay, well, look, Miss Ruby, we're gonna get her right back, y'all. But what she's talking about is something that's really something that's needed right now. Again, we have tons of seniors, and oftentimes a lot of our seniors don't know about some of the programs that are available to them. I went by and talked to a young lady, right? Miss Helen, not the Miss Helen from the fame of Miss Helen's, but this is a different Miss Helen, and she lives over by in the city, right? So I went to her house and I was talking to her, and she asked me to measure. I guess she was missing a window, and she had some plastic and a kind of board up there or something, and she most certainly would qualify. Well, I can't tell you. I didn't fill out the paperwork or anything, but I was reminding her, if she didn't know, and she didn't at the time, was that, we've got several programs for seniors just like her to help her with those kind of home repairs, right? And she was unaware of it, right? And so that's part of the thing, working with seniors and just even regular people, all of us, right, is that life goes on, and oftentimes things change as we, the law changes, exemptions, they have higher amounts, and it's important. That's one of the things I love about our work, right? And what I oftentimes find in people, I find myself reminding people, especially seniors, because they've been around longer, that, the law changes every year. Right. So I was talking to this different woman, Diane, which is Sherry Day's sister. And so she was mentioning to me about I was talking to her about the senior tax exemption. And she said, oh, well, yeah, I applied for that 10 years ago. I don't qualify. And I just, of course, I'm always respectful when I'm in people's homes. And I said, well, you know what, Miss Diane? They change the amount every year, right? Oh, hey, man, what's up, Ruby? So Miss Ruby's back. But I had mentioned to her that, hey, the senior tax exemption has gone up this year. You might want to reapply. And she said, oh, I didn't know that. Thanks for telling me. So the point is that it's important for us to be able to come back out and remind our seniors and other folks that a lot of these programs change every year, and just because you didn't qualify for it last year doesn't mean that you might not qualify for it this year, right? So that's super important. And there's a lot of other things that allow us to try to age in place, as Miss Ruby mentioned. So, hey, Miss Ruby, are you all the way back there yet? I see you still working with it. Okay, well, I see you on the screen there. So Miss Ruby is working on her audio, but okay, so you're still connecting. Great. So, again, I was talking to Miss Helen the other day, not the Miss Helen from the cafe, but and again, I just, I told her about this window, that how she could get her window fixed. And I guess she had been trying to get somebody to come over and measure it. It's a lot of different services in our community for our seniors, and making those connections is something that's important to me. I know it's always been important to people like my mom as well. Hey, Miss Ruby, you back? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm sorry about that. I'm on my phone right now.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. We right here. But yeah, so in the time we got left, we were talking a little bit about seniors, but I know that you had some other things you just really wanted to get out to our members and Black
Yeah,
homeowners. And
taxes, taxes, taxes. That's really our biggest issue right now because being upzoned has caused our taxes to rise, of course. And then we got the missing middle housing bill, which allows everybody to convert their home to a duplex or triplex. And that will probably impact our taxes. I don't know how it's going to do it. I'm waiting for some answers. But so our taxes have gone up and they probably will continue to go up. So, but we do have plans in place. Governor Inslee has also set aside bills that make it harder for us to get taxed out of our homes, so that if there is a problem with taxes, we can get help with that. So, we also want to make sure that everybody gets on the senior tax exemption that's qualified. You have to be 61 or over, and you can't make any more than $74,000 a year per household. And that helps a lot for those who don't qualify for that. And there are quite a few. I would suggest that you go to one of these senior centers and get with one of those lawyers that have 30 minutes for free and get a consultation and ask them, is there anything that they could see that they could, help you fight your tax bill. A lot of wealthy people do that in Seattle, and just the fact that they hire an attorney just for a little bit of time, the tax assessor is a lot of times very much willing to go ahead and put their bill down. So, that's something worth trying as we work on other things. We're going to keep everybody in their homes, that's for sure. So, we're working on other things to try to help us stay in our homes. This gentrification of, the last Black homeowners, that's not happening here in Seattle. We going to do whatever we can to prevent that.
Yeah, well, we are most certainly here to stay, and we shall not be moved. Hey, and speaking of that, did you hear our theme song that we had Miss Josephine Hell sing? What do you think about that?
I love it. 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 Matter of fact, the tune is, I've been hearing that song since I was a child, but the tune is so catchy now that I hear it now. If I listen to it, I'll be humming it all day. So I got to be careful.
Well, you know what? We changed some of the words, and so what had happened with that is we had reached out to because we really liked the version that Mavis Staples had from back in the day. But what happened was that in the music business, who knew that there's a lot of things around licensing music and the like, but that song itself is a old Negro spiritual, and it's just open and free for anybody to use, but you just have to re-record it. So we had Mother Birdwell from Mount Zion and the whole band get together with Josephine Howe, and they went to the studio and re-sung that. So we got a fast version and a slow version, and we got the words that say, "I'm on my way to my family. I'm on my way home," right? And so we shall not be moved. And it really speaks to the work that we're trying to do. And it's just a nice, catchy song, man.
I've been having fun just finding different versions of it and just playing them and just seeing what kind of version. It's just a lot of fun, and it's a wonderful theme song for us.
Indeed. Well, man, so what are some of the things you're excited about? I know that you heard. I know that John Wilson was talking about some of the work and that they're going to do in the legislative session next year, and what are some of the hopes that you have, or marching orders, if you will? Because I know that you've been doing this work for a long time, so you got me right here. Hey, Chukundi, I want you to do what? What am I supposed to be doing?
With hardship comes opportunity. They always say that.
Mm-hmm.
And upzoning was a hardship for us, could be a hardship for us, but there's also opportunity. Now instead of our homes just being a house and a home, we have land. We got to look at it as land. And on our land, we can house our entire family. If they're housing insecure, if they're out there paying rent that's, really too high for them, or if they having a hard time finding a place, if they are responsible, we could put our whole family of responsible people on our property. We could make our home a duplex. We could make ADUs. We could split the property. And, we could give the kids the big house, and we could take the little ADU if we want to do that, if they have kids. So, it's healthy for grandparents to be with their grandkids, and for kids to be able to help their parents if there's an emergency. So, we can do all that with our homes now. And, a senior,
Yeah.
she doesn't want to get no loan, but she could have her responsible adult child take out the loan and get a house built on her property. So there's a lot of things we could do. So, keep that in mind and think about it.
Exactly. Well, you know what? I want to thank you for your time today, Miss Ruby. We're going to continue the good fight, and I most certainly will be talking to you soon. Thank you for your time.
Okay, and have a good time on the 19th, because that's going to be scary.
It is, but we
tomorrow
we built
Halloween. It's going to be scary talking to our parents about where's this and where's that.
we built for it. Okay, we'll be right back after the break here on the Mother's Justice Show.
Okay, and I'll see you. Thank you so much for having me. Have a good day.
Yes, ma'am.
The King County Sheriff's Office is proud to support the Mother's Justice Show. We're an equal opportunity employer that recruits, hires, and trains qualified and diverse police officers to practice constitutional policing throughout King County. With a starting salary of $62,000 a year, scheduled pay increases along the way, generous health, dental, and vision insurance, and a take-home car upon successful completion of field training. This can be an attractive and rewarding career. So join us and be a person that serves their community and helps to bring about positive change. For more information on becoming a member of King County Sheriff's Office, go to our website, kingcounty.gov/DEPTS/sheriff. That's kingcounty.gov/departments/sheriff. Or get more information by calling 206-263-KCSO. That's 206-263-KCSO.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
Going against the grain has never been this much fun. Alternative Talk 1150.
All right. Hey, welcome back for the final segment of our show today. Once again, my name is Chukundi Salisbury, and I am filling in for Reverend Harriet Walden, the social justice icon that she is. Has been generous enough, along with Mothers for Police Accountability, to lend this platform to Services of Lifestyle and our Black Legacy Homeowner Network. And so we're doing the last Friday of the month, every month now until the end of the year, and just bringing these updates to community around the work we're doing with Black Legacy Homeowners. right? And so, again, my name is Chukundi Salisbury, and for full transparency, Reverend Walden is my mother. Right. So lots of good times, man, over the years. And of course the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. We're doing a lot of great work in this community. And specifically today we're talking about the Black Legacy Homeowner Network. Right. And so if you're just tuning in, the Black Legacy Homeowner Network is a program of service as a lifestyle. And what we're doing is seeking to, we're working on Black homeowner stabilization. And what does that mean? We're trying to stabilize Black homeowners so we don't fall victim to gentrification or other economic forces that would destabilize us and force us to lose our homes. Contrary to popular belief, while we don't have as many Black homeowners as we used to in Seattle, most certainly, gentrification and other factors has reduced the number of Black homeowners in Seattle severely over the years. But contrary to that narrative, there's a lot of Black homeowners left. And we're finding that out in this work as we door knock and go through the community and sign people up. We have our monthly meetings that are well attended by many folks. And so, through this work, we're being able to, educate and empower and really just engage those Black homeowners with the information and the tools for them to be successful. And so we're asking people to log on to blacklegacyhomeowners.org and click on our resources. There's lots of resources there for folks that may need, immediate assistance. Some of the things that we are working on is, for example, we're working on making sure that our seniors know about a program called Rebuilding Together Seattle. And these guys are doing all types of work for seniors and others. And these improvements are free of charge. I mentioned in the last segment that I went by a woman's house named Miss Helen, not Miss Helen from the restaurant fame, but and she had me measure her window. And I was like, well, there's a program where they'll come out and fix this window for free. And she said, oh, ain't that right, baby? Oh, Miss Helen. I told her she reminded me of my mama. And so, I told her about the program. But again, there's a lot of resources out here, right? And we know that people oftentimes, in our community, we most certainly see these signs that say, I buy homes, right? You don't see those signs in Magnolia. You don't see those signs in Laurelhurst. Right? You don't see those signs, in Madrona, right? Or Madison Park, right? And because oftentimes people in those communities are not under duress, right? And we tend to lose our homes or we do short sales and things like that when we feel the walls closing in, right? And so what the Black Legacy Homeowner Network is, it's a group of neighbors and community members that have come together to give you that hand, right? Whether it's the information, whether it's just sharing contacts, whether it's just somebody to talk to about your situation, because maybe we've been in the same situation as well. It's a network of people that you can lean on when the walls are closing in, right? A great example of that is that oftentimes, people the walls are closing in, they're getting that foreclosure notice, they're behind on their mortgage, and they just can't see a way out. And then that's when you get that call from this person who wants to buy your house for pennies on the dollar, right? Just so you can take that pressure off. They come in and say, oh, Miss Johnson, I can make it all go away. I tell you what, I'll give you, how much is they'll give you $500,000 for this house. It's worth 1.2. right? But you just behind on the taxes, and you say, oh, well, they're going to take it anyway. I might as well get something for it, right? No, right? That's when, hopefully we can run into you and say, listen, did you know about the program with the Urban League, right? The HALF program. Miss Linda Taylor and the Urban League, they got up to $60,000 to help homeowners, and most certainly Black homeowners, with its foreclosure assistance, right, to help get you out of foreclosure, right? So you don't have to make those poor decisions that we often make when we don't see any way out, right? And so that's what, so on that end of the spectrum, that immediate need, right? There's people out here that can help, right? And that's what we're about at the Black Legacy Homeowner Network. We don't want to see anybody in our community get taken advantage of, and most certainly not Black people. When we know that, perhaps a recession, they keep talking about soft landing, hard landing, right? I know that the city's going to have a budget shortfall. I think somebody said it was going to be 250 million in the next couple of years here. Guess who, when the economy, what do they say? It's just like anything else, like with COVID. When the economy catches a cold, Black people get pneumonia. We're going to be the houses that they come for first. Because who is most likely to be under duress, right? Who's most likely to need help? Black people, right? And most certainly other people of color. But our project is specifically focused on Black people, right? And no disrespect to the BIPOC movement, if you will. I most certainly know that these economic pressures are happening on Beacon Hill. They're happening in the Asian community. They're happening to our Latino community. They're happening across, and they're actually happening in the white community too. But specifically, we're working to stabilize Black homeowners, because what we know is that when Black people do well, everybody does well. There's nobody that does bad because Black people are doing well, right? Not in America, right? Maybe there might be some racists that feel bad, but other than that, everybody does well. So, again, we're out here working with the Black Legacy Homeowner Network, and we're doing a lot of work with our partners. We're partnering with the Urban League. We're partnered with Rebuild Seattle. We're also part of the Black Home Initiative, which is doing great work across the entire region, right? We're looking to get into additional home buying support. So if you don't have a home right now, we most certainly would like to help you get one, right? So, before I leave today, it's very important, right, that we want to continue to work on housing solutions at a larger level in the city of Seattle and beyond. But many of those solutions, quite frankly, will be apartments, and we do want to see people get those homes, right? But we know that in our community, oftentimes our generational wealth will only be tied to property, okay? And that means the home. There is no generational wealth that will be generated by living in this great new apartment that you're able to return to in the central area. While there might be a great deal of pride to come home and be around your folks where you grew up, home ownership is the path to generational wealth for our community. And most certainly, it's a tried and true path. And that's why we're working to make sure that that path is continues to be there for us. And we want to widen that path. We want to bring more people into the fold. So that's the work that we're doing with the Black Legacy Homeowner Network. And again, I want to thank Reverend Walden and Mothers for Police Accountability for the platform today, for letting us come on and talk about the work that we're doing. And we most certainly will do that work. So log on to blacklegacyhomeowners.org, and we thank you for tuning in today.